Hey, Dana here. Guess what I hear? I'm riding in the 96 Ford Mustang, and of course now everything just starts to sound guess what? That's another project down the road. And if you're hearing that in your vehicle, that's what it is. And there's the example of it. You lost rubber covering around it, and there is play in that. Let me tell you, enough for. That's the whole ball, so you really don't know how deep it is in the socket, but it's definitely a goner, a non-greasable one, and it's definitely been there for a while. So let's get that changed out. Let's go ahead and get this ball joint replaced. As you can see, this is the new Mogul, and yes, it has a grease fitting on the bottom, and it is a heavy duty. Better be, because I paid $45 for it, and you can get them online. You can get two for the price of one. So I went with that because I want to support my local, oh, come on. Scratch my paint again. Dadgummit. Alright, drop it here. Alright. Thinking it might be the shock tower. And went under here to start to investigate, and found that it was not the shock strut, even though I've now just changed these as of yesterday. You'll catch the videos on that, and I lubed up the ball joint with some breaker, and I put some lithium in there, and it quieted it up. It was fine, but when I had everything disconnected here, I grabbed the whole steering knuckle, and I was able to go like this inside. You could see the ball moving around inside the socket. So it's time to go ahead and replace that. I'm trying to decide whether I want to go ahead and pull everything off of here to get to it, so I can press it out, or just try and push things out of the way to do it. But I think moving everything out of the way is going to be the way to go. I don't have to worry about alignment, so that would be the big decision there, because the strut is attached to your steering knuckle, and it doesn't have to be aligned. So that's probably going to be my reason. You are farther out on that than you want to be. That steering knuckle. I am out on that further than I want to be, because I want that to hang down. So I got to do a readjustment here. Okay, our first evolution. I'm going to go ahead and pull the tie rod in, drop that down, so then I can rotate the steering knuckle left and right. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull the caliper out of the way, and then pull the rotor off of there so I can see even better. The caliper basically is in my way in removing the nut on the ball joint. That nut, in this particular case, it's going to vary on your size of nut. It's a castellated nut, so you got to remove the carter key, and that happens to be a 19-inch socket. Usually what you can do is just wrap it. There it goes. Okay. Okay, I didn't cut it. Oh, that's good. Now be careful, I don't want to cut your boot. It's brand new, both sides. I just freaking changed them. Everything on this, almost everything on this suspension-wise, brand new. Shocks, tie rod ends. Ball joint on that side went about 2 years ago. The wife was driving, and thank God she had come to a intersection. She had already stopped, and she was turning. She was turning to go to right, and the ball joint dropped out. That could have happened when she was driving at any speed, and you lose it, you're not in very good shape. Alright, so that is now removed. So that's a that was a 19, but they're going to be different on different tie rod ends. Okay, now at this point here, I'm going to go ahead and try and turn it. You see how stiff that is because of that ball joint. We give you a good shot of that, and I was able to play with that. Lift it up and down. It's, a couple hundred thousandths of a play inside that ball, so that could go at any given time. And there's the example of it. Okay, our next step. Go ahead and remove the caliper, but I'm not removing the caliper itself. I'm removing the anchor plate with the caliper attached. You can still check to see if your sliders are functioning properly. In this case, for this year, those bolts are 15s. Oh. Alright, it's a bigger gun. You're always going to want to hang it. Don't let it hang on its brake hose. Beautiful. Okay, so we're at this point here. Now I may still not be able to get it. I may have to go ahead. Like I said, I'm going to disconnect this here. That bolt is probably a 24. Okay, just so you can see where I'm at, there's your anchor plate. You got 15-inch bolts here. And now we're going to disconnect that. I don't think I can get a socket in there on that. Be a little difficult. Hopefully that's going to let go. What I might have to do is go ahead and disconnect the strut bolts off of here. So then that'll hang. This will be completely out of my way. So I'm probably going to be. And of course, I just loosened those up, and I've just reinstalled them, so it shouldn't be hard. I believe this was a 21. Can I have this one right here? Yep. Yeah. 21's okay. Backside is a 24. I believe I'm in the same boat. 20 and 24. But the nice thing about it is there is no alignment needed. There's no camber adjustment on this. Okay, go ahead and loosen it up. You gotta be very careful of the steering knuckle because you have your anti-skid cable is attached to it. Other than that, you'd be able to take it right off of here. But you have an anti-skid cable here. The bracket is being held by a 24. Bracket come right out of the way, but it's still hanging. And we gotta figure out what's going on with the anti-skid as well. Because I have an anti-skid light to this. And unfortunately, being as old as it is, the system says it's not going to tell me which one it is. Each one. Let's see. I torque these up to 100, 140, 141. Open there. Yeah, I had a pain of a day trying to line that up, or trying to get that on there. I don't know how far down it is now that I have it like that, or extended out, I should say. Might get expanded out as far as they'll go. I don't believe. We're going to do something real quick. I'm going to make sure. I'm going to put a jack under that real quick so I can control that control arm. Or, yeah, controller. Okay, to this point, this is where we're at now. These are the tools I've used so far. Hammer extension, 20, 24. These are your nuts. I use the breaker bar, the impact, 15, and 18, 19 on that. So, I put the jack on the hit because I wanted to control that control arm, but at this point there wasn't any tension on it. What did I just do on it that I thought I was going to have, but it's good to have it here. I'm going to need it for alignment probably later. The strut just came right out, and of course the steering knuckle now is just hanging, and now I got plenty of room to do what I need to do. There's a 24 on there, and hopefully that's going to let go. And then we're going to go ahead and get the ball joint press. Press that out, press the new one in, and do it in reverse order. Again, the minute that comes out, you got to be careful of your cable. My 97 doesn't have anti-skid. It's definitely a special order for this vehicle. Okay, let's see if this nut's going to let go without having any issues. Turning. Yes. All right, sweet. Again, that's a 24. No, you won't have to use that later. It came with its own. It's got and it's a castellated nut. It's not a neoprene. All right, now next step. See if we can get that to break loose. Come out of there. There's the breaker on there. The magic stuff. I'm gonna let that soak a few minutes, and then do the exact same thing that I did to the tie rod end. Whack that puppy hard. Need earplugs when I do that. Ouch! You see how that thing catches. Oh, yeah. All right, very good. Let me give you a look on that real quick. All right, you watching? See how much play is in this now? They move up and down. You gotta watch that stuff. It was quite a bit. It can pop out. I can pop out at any time. So when you're doing safety inspections, make sure they check those ball joints real good. Unfortunately, you know, this is about a 3 to 4 hour job. So it's about $400 just to do this. And the thing is, it doesn't make any difference if it's a gas vehicle or a all electric vehicle. So even though we get away from gas powered engines, you're still going to have your suspension, wheel bearings, tie rod ends. You're going to get away from steering racks, but the steering racks are going to be electric, but you're still going to have tie rod ends. You're never going to get away from your suspension, your ball joints. You're no longer going to have hydraulic brakes. They're all going to be electric, but you're still going to need brake pads. So it doesn't matter whether it's an electric vehicle, a gas vehicle or electric vehicle. You're still going to have suspension, bearings, and brakes that are going to have to be replaced. And if you can learn to do those by yourself, you're going to be saving yourself some money. Okay, in this case here, I don't mind using a pitchfork or a pickle fork. And then you can just go ahead and hit it, make it let go. So, we're done. We now have a loose steering knuckle, and we need to hang that because of the fact that we have a anti-skid cable. So this evolution, I used a pickle fork, a large pickle fork, and a mallet. Okay, now we get everything out of the way. I may still have to move the strut, which means if I had to remove the strut, yeah, you probably could have done it. I don't know, it's still difficult. Just got a nut up there, this will drop down, get it out of your way. But here's a close-up now. You can see exactly what was going on with this thing. With the weight and everything, the system's trying to steer your wheel. It's not releasing the wheel, so the wheel can come back to where it needs to be when it's straight. So this is what you want to use. It's a Maddox system, and it will pop that wheel bearing back out, and it will also press the new one back in. C-frame ball that pressed, jack screw, receiving tubes, installer adapter, remover adapter, installing cup, receiving cup, installer cup. So, and there's your different sizes that you get with this kit. I did get this at Harbor Freight, and I've used it once before on the other side. Okay, we'll do a quick overview of how the system works. What you've got is your top bushing cup. It's got like 3 different sizes here because you have 3 different types of cups depending on how wide you need it, so this will fall into it, right? So this one go on the bottom here, and then it sits on your system like that. Probably have to drop my thing down a little bit. So this is going to go in just like so. In here, your shaft is up like so, and you have another one that's identical. Okay, this one's just going to go on here and sit. This is the top one because that's going to go over that like that. This is your bottom one because you're going to go in like that. Cup's going to go here. It's going to sit in between like so, and then you're going to go ahead and tighten it down. It's going to be pushing on the upper part of your ball, shoving it right down into your cup. I gotta lower some stuff down here so I can get that on there. Alright. Okay, let's get that hook up. Lower it down just a little bit. Again, that one sits on top. This is going in like so. This is going inside that. That's going on. This is going on that. Lock those tires. Let's try that. I'm having a slight issue. Why am I having such a difficult time? Okay, see this, boys and girls? It's like so. Slide into like that. And time to tighten it up. Oh wow. This one's gonna go sit right inside that cup like so. I'll show you real quick. Set up. Okay, here's a quick overview of what we have here. And you get your bottom cup, and then you got your top. Well, there's your cup, there's your base, and when you get the manual, it tells you right here how to set it up. So you get your lower cup, and then here's that your adapter. And then you get your upper adapter, and now you're just going to tension it up and then pop that puppy back out. And then when you go install it, it's even got U-joint remover. And then you're going to do the exact opposite. You're going to put your cup on the bottom, or your adapter on the bottom here, and then you're going to go ahead and put your cup over your ball joint, and then you got your adapter on top, and then you're going to go and do exactly the opposite. Now alignment is going to be, you're going to have to play with the alignment to get it in the hole, but other than that, it's pretty much that simple. Okay, let's do this. Now I got my ratchet, 1/2-inch ratchet, 22 socket on the bottom of here, and extension. So now what that's going to do is that's going to slide that way, so it's going to lock against the back part of the cup. And I think what else what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat that up. If I can't get it to let go, I'm going to get to a point here where something broke. I'm not sure what. You get to a point where you just can't move that thing. I think it's popping a little at a time. Something's moving. I don't think they have. There's no reason for there to get clipped to hold that in there. It's moving. Pushing it out. You're doing good. Beautiful. You even need that anymore. There it went. Beautiful. I can't remember how much I paid for this kit. I have to get on. Have a fake. Find out. One thing was dropping out with it. Now, we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to put the cup on top. And then we're going to put this lower one facing up. And then we're going to shove it right back up. Sweet, huh? Now alignment for the new one is going to be, will be the kind of the trick. Cup on it. I'm just going to line it right back up. It probably will align itself. I'm just putting it in there so I can. Let's do the opposite now. We're going to put. You don't have. In fact, you don't even need this anymore. This was just wide enough. It had to be wide enough for this to go in it. And now we're going to go the opposite direction. As long as it's wide enough, it's got to sit on the foot of that. And that's wide enough right there. And now you're going to take, these have two different size holes. So you're going to want this one, you're going to want the bigger hole one to go over your shaft. And she's going to sit just like that. The bottom one has got the smaller hole. That's so that can fit in. Man, I got that breaker all over me. Okay, so this one is going to go up and sit on the bottom here. It's going to go like so. You don't need as much clearance. Okay, there you go. Now you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to tighten it up. And your C clamp is going to push against like so. Okay, we'll get her started. That should line itself up to be pretty straight. Because you're gonna you definitely need the puppy here. See how far we are in. Just for the record. Okay, we got a little ways to go. Looking good. Righty. That help it squeeze her in. All right, let's go back. Okay. Gets all the way through there, it'll be easier, and now it's aligned itself. Always a nice hopefully that was it. Yeah, probably gonna go the other way too. Inches if I could put on that. See, Louie? There. So, I would say so. I would say we are in and seated. Yep, we're in here and seated. Very nice. Okay, we saw how simple that was. Now real important, she is sitting right here. Make sure you get that freaking boot back on there. You don't want to get crap in it. It's got this weird. I need a rubber mallet to get it to push over it. I don't want to break that. The next thing you do real quick is put the grease fitting in there. There you go. That's that. Alright. Next thing. Oh, it's gonna be noisy here for a minute. This is like an 8. Now I'm putting that grease fitting up in there like it's supposed to be. You gotta grab. It's kind of like a self-tap. Hardest part of the whole job. The freaking grease fitting in there. That's gross. Good enough. Now I'm right here. I'll go ahead and put a couple bursts of grease in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. Alright. Good enough for now. We'll hit it good on the next oil change. Point is, you have grease in the bottom of that ball joint because that's where all your pressure is. So getting grease in there as soon as possible, what you need to do, because here's the old one. It was even catching itself. Okay, that's what it looks like without the cover on it, and your pressure is on the bottom down here. So it's on the bottom of the inside of that ball. And says you're trying to turn with all that weight on there, with no grease down there, that just, ate up the bottom inside the cup here. So you got like sandpaper in there. Let me clean this stuff up. We'll be right back. And in that evolution, use the 22 socket on that C-clamp bolt, and then I use that to seat the rubber boot. And of course, you're going to want a cheetah bar. And it's up to you. You can go to Advanced Auto and get that kit loaned to you. It's going to cost you you're going to have to put down the money for the price of that tool, which I think was like $207. And then once you've used it, you bring it back, you'll get you $207 back. So I did that, and I said, now I'm going to go to Advance, go to Harbor Freight on the next time around and buy my own, because it was less than $100, I think. So And as you can see, just doing one, you just paid for it, because this Evolution is going to cost you a couple $100. I mean, most shops now are like $110 an hour, and that was that's probably taking me 3 hours, but they go by whatever the book says. So I just unhooked the steering knuckle. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here. Looks like my control arm is down lower now, so all I gotta do is slide my bolts in. They're beautiful. Here's my I'll cut it out. I'm blind. I'm blind. I'm blinded by the light. Alright, so that one's slide this one in. Woo! Alright. Then so there's real no play here. Not even enough to even worry about. And I'm already on my ball joint. So all I'm gonna do is all I have to do is take the jack it up, put my nut on, tighten it down to specs, and go from there. Let's see. I think I was having a problem putting the nut on there, but I still might get away with it. I'm gonna go ahead and get these bolts on here. See, I think I said they were like 140 foot-pounds on these front nuts. Put that there. My 24. What are you doing over here? 19, I was wanting to just take it off already. 24 here. Here. 21 in the back. On it. Get that torqued up. Don't even mess with it. I think I'll wait until I get a little more tension on that. Oh, come on. Easy enough for that. This is my jack handle. It's in the escape. Okay. There we go. Now seated in there. Get your brand new. Oh, bigger than 24. All right. It is a 27 in this case. Spin you around so I can see you. Really? Pop that down a little bit. That's to a point where I can't even get the nut on there with the. Oh, I can't. So all I gotta do is drop it down a little bit because it's not completely sealed in there. Okay, it gives me enough. Rotate around that. Believe it or not, I could not get that nut on there with the shock in the way without dropping it down a little bit. Okay, I'm clear now, but I couldn't get that nut on there. Wow. Which means I'm definitely not going to be able to sock it on there. I can't. What the heck? That's crazy. I can't get a nut on that to torque that down. You'd have to have a crow's foot. Oh, come on. I've got this. Sure. You ain't it. I'm using a short socket, but I can't get it on there. That's going to be all wrench. Unless I pull that. Which one's got to loosen? That is freaking crazy. I can't get anything on that. I need a 27-inch wrench to get on there, or it's going to be a standard. That's almost 1 inch. Maybe 1 1/4 inches. Well, how do you like that? I was not expecting that. Not expecting that at all. Which means loosen that up and kink that one way or another just to torque it. Just so you can see what I'm talking about. I've got it all the way up right now. And here's your nut. I'm gonna try and take it off, and you're gonna see it catches on the bottom of the shock. I can't turn it anymore. So you can't even get it on without, you know, dropping this down enough so that nut can go on there. Now we can tighten it all the way up now, that's no problem. I'm gonna do a wrench. But I'm using a short, and I can't get that on there with the strut attached. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to pull my bolts again, get that out of the way. And I'm glad it just lines up. There's no problem there. So, but still, you still got to disconnect them, and then torque it down to, I'll have to look, I think it's 80. My gas is 80 foot-pounds. I do not have a 27 combination wrench, but I do have 1 1/8. So that fits it. I can start the tension on it. And then I'm going to do what I've got no choice in doing is we're back to the drawing board with these. So I'm going to have to disconnect those again. You have to remember that. Go ahead and get the ball joint installed. I don't even have a big enough crow's foot to torque that now. That is something else. I cannot get that. I'm not going to be able to get that on there. The torque that. Huh. A crow's foot is what you need to do that one. Unfortunately, it's only got 100. It's only got like 110 foot-pounds on it. Anyway, so Still. Let's see my car. Yeah, hold that. I need to put my tire on it. Back in. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put your car key in. So not going to hold that. Might, you try it. And that, no. 110. Alright. I'm going on it at an angle, so maybe there'll be enough grip. I just can't tell. I'm on something. Where's that? Good extension. I'm turning it. And again, it's not that much torque on it, even though it wants to say there's going to be. Ball, all right, come on. Put that knot up. Come on. And then I touch, I'm getting grease on my hands. Remember who's that low, that one? Shoved it, no? You can't even shove it in because this is holding that. Rub them out. Won't hurt your legs on. Come on. Now which way did you go? Do I have enough? There's my socket. That folded in there. Let's see. Oh, guess what? By popping that bottom one, ha! It folded in. I'm turning my steering wheel. No. Pretty darn tight. You need to line up a hole too. And you're gonna get a Carter key through there. Two. Turn my wheels. See where we are with a Carter keyhole. That evolution. That ain't gonna hurt nothing, is it? It's gonna actually work to my benefit. Over my freaking head. Of course. Bad angle here. Okay, she's actually at 110 right now. Unfortunately, nowhere near freaking hole for it. So be at 110 right now. I've got to go a little bit beyond the 110 until I get a hole for that cartridge extension. It'll take it a little bit beyond it. It's not going to hurt it because the tie rod to steering knuckle. Ball joint to steering knuckle. 110 to 149. So there's still plenty of torque there. 110 to 149. 130, 135. I can see the hole coming up. Yeah. That mogul is one of the best you can get. I think we're darn close. Yep, I can see it. Yeah, bullseye. Yeah, bring you guys in on that, just so you can see what you're looking at. Castellated nuts anymore. Zoom in on that. See castellated nut. This is difficult. I've never tried this before. Find my nut. There he is. Alright. Now we're gonna look at fingerprints all in my mirror. It works. Okay. Now, castellated nut. Mirror. See the hole? There you go. Yeah, that was pretty difficult. There you go. You're gonna put your car key around through there. Okay, so we so nicely provide you with a new quarter key. Why is my mirror on? Right on. Slide it. Side it was safe to do that. Okay, go ahead and get that nut back through there, bolt back through there. I actually dropped my tie rod now. I need that one to come back out. This one. Now I'm freaking lining again. My poor vacuum cover here is freaking fragile. Ow! What are you doing? Oh, this was not expected. I have no idea why it did what it did. Alright. You got everything apart again. Where's your... Hold it in. Not anything more to them, they're good. Let's see, what is the torque on this? 141 foot-pounds on those. Okay, let's get them on. Here you go. You got, oh yeah, around 149. Okay. All right. I like it when I pull down. Beautiful. All right. And that evolution took a 24 on your front nut and a 21 on your back nut using a torque wrench and a breaker bar. Next, I can go ahead and put my anti-skid bracket back on. Doesn't take anything. I'm not gonna. It's just enough to hold it. Apart here. I couldn't tell. Alright, next thing. Get you back, put back up there. Poor thing. Alright, we're done at this point. Look how nicely that turns now. Right? Alright. Okay. I'm going to check the sliders on that caliper while I'm here. But we're set at this point. Clean that caliper up. I'm going to drop in here for a minute. Alright. So there we are. We'll put the tie rod end on last. Okay, that last evolution, I took a 27 short, using an extension on it, all ½ inch. Also, it was pre-started. I didn't have a 27 combination, but I had an inch and an 8 in ASC. So, and of course, tightening the nuts for that, 24 and a 21. It takes care of those. Put this stuff up. I don't need them anymore. Of course, never will get away without using an extension around here, or a cheetah bar. All right, let's get the plate torque. 85/95 on those bolts. Gotta go up. I set it at 90. This is why you don't want to do the tie rod yet. You can move this any way you want. Alright. That's it. Okay, brakes are on there and tight. It's time to use the torque wrench and we will do the wheel lugs. I did make sure the sliders were lubed up and free. Alright, so see that. That's done. That's done. Cutter key greased. Guess what? We can go ahead and put the tie rod back up. Torque wrench. What is it? Caliper. Now I gotta go from brakes to Back to suspension. Looking for tie rod. Tie rod to steering knuckle, 35 to 47. There's nothing. There is no torque at all on that. This one, we only go to 150. Only go to 50 pounds. But guess what? Gotta get my own. Start out at 10. So let's go to 30. 35. Alright. Because now we gotta find this hole at this point. We got a hole. We got no. Yeah, we do. We're dead on. Sweet. Yep. Little Harbor Freight. Go on there. Little line of stuff there, and you'll find cases and cases of car keys. Alright, let's see. I don't know if the steering wheel's locked or not. Kind of locked on me. I'm dealing with dang gum. My hands are filthy. Mess with me. Get out of there for a minute. You're tight. Ouch. All right. Okay, people. That's it. Gonna crop. Put away here. And get torque down. Next project I gotta change the rear brakes on this. The rotors are all rust and pitted, and they're no longer gripping. So that's the next project on this Mustang. But she now has brand new shocks all the way around. Brand new ball joints. Shocks. Struts. Tires back on. Good to go. Okay, no more excitement left on this side. So, lift it up a little bit. Torque wrench set 110. These torque. We're done. Alright. Good. Like it. We're good. Beautiful. Alright. If I need them again, I want to do the rear. Rear brake shoe. Rear brakes. They need. Probably well, they come as a kit. I went through. I believe I got these through Detroit Axle. I got slotted rotors all the way around and ceramic pads. So 2 years ago, before the motor went to crap, I changed out the front rotors. So I didn't touch the rear. Anyway, so this has been almost a full evolution on this new motor. And then of course the whole shock and ball joint issue. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, definitely share, and you will catch me on the next Gamers Garage Project Stang.